A few days ago, I had purchased the game Big Rigs in a sale for about $2. The shop looked pretty worn down and had few customers on that date, but they were all in another section. I was in the video game section, where I decided to buy the game. Where I decided to buy the game. I didn't have much money, but I certainly did have $2 on me at the time, and it was the only game which sold for $2. I had previously heard about the infamous game and its large collection of bugs, and I decided to play the game for a few laughs. The cover looked pretty well designed, albeit for a few bumps and dents near the back of the box. However, I had heard about the misleading claims in it, the non-existent police in the game, for example. But I decided to let that slide for the time being anyways. Returning home, I took the CD from its cover and popped open the CD drive of my laptop. Seeing as how Big Rigs was a pretty old game, I figured it would run on my 2009 laptop. After taking out the CD, however, I did notice some black splotches on the CD, but decided anyways to put it in, as the worst that could possibly happen was that the computer would crash and viruses were impossible, seeing as I had bought and installed a pretty good antivirus just a few days ago. Since I had autoplay disabled by default, I ran filesetup.exe, followed the instructions except for the part of reading the T and C, I almost never did that, and pretty soon Big Rigs was installed on my computer. Apparently the black splotches did nothing to hinder the progress of the installation. Although I had pretty much the whole afternoon remaining, I decided to play the game instantly because of my sheer curiosity. I had seen Alex Navarro review the game and I found it pretty funny, but I couldn't say for sure what the game was like unless I experienced it firsthand. I went to all programs and ran the file from the shortcut. I had Windows XP, and the screen quickly switched to black and after a while showed the normal Big Rigs title screen. I didn't pay much attention to this anyway, since most of the programs I installed had automatically switched to full screen, made the screen flicker for a little while before straightening out. I selected Custom Race from the menu, and selected track Mega 1 and clicked Done. Soon I was taken to the track select screen and I had 5 choices in front of me. I switched windows using Alt-Tab, and went back to Wikipedia's article on Big Rigs. It mentioned that there were 5 tracks, although the track Night Ride on opening made the game crash, so in actuality there were actually only 4. Since I didn't want the game to crash on my first attempt, I chose the first track and played the game. It ran pretty smoothly except for a few drop frames when I encountered a place that had a lot of lights and buildings, and tried everything that had previously been done. It was funny for a while, but soon got pretty boring. After finishing the race, quote-unquote, I decided for the sake of it anyway, and the fact that my curiosity was piqued, to select the Night Ride track, knowing that the worst that could happen was a fatal error message in a CTD called Crash Desktop, for those who didn't know. As soon as I clicked Race, it cut to black and showed the level. For some reason, I didn't expect this to happen. I had heard that the level caused the game to crash, and the patch released by Stellar Stone just substituted the Night Ride level for a mirrored image of the first track. The beginning was similar to that of the screenshot of the Night Ride level in the track select screen, although there were some flickering lights in the distance that switched on and off depending on your speed. In my case, it was off all the time since I hadn't started playing yet. I surveyed the landscape for a while, taking note of the lack of movement for the other trucks, and soon accelerated, playing as if it was a normal level. I don't know why, but for some reason I could hear myself repeating the very same words silently I had heard a long time ago. You shouldn't have done that. After a while, I saw more anomalies. The track frequently disappeared, even though I was still in the level, and there would be intermittent sounds from the left side of my headset. I should mention I was wearing a headset at the time. I figured that now. Each gaining in volume when I reached a checkpoint. Seeing as how it was risky for me to wear the headset any longer without damaging my ear due to the loud noise on the left, I decided to take off the headset. I put it away, although it was still connected. I should mention that although I took it off, I could hear it from afar. The underside of my laptop soon began to heat up rather quickly, much faster than when I was playing the relatively graphic-intensive game, and the CD drive started to whir and vibrate at a high frequency. That's when I decided to force quit the program, but just as I tried to, the truck increased speed, the sounds increased in volume. It's a good thing I removed that headset. And I lost my place because it's so stupid. And the drive began to vibrate very quickly. Control-Alt-Delete did nothing, neither did Alt-Tab nor Control-Escape. I tried to eject the drive, but it didn't eject. The last time the drive vibrated, it had hung and I had to send it for repairs. Things became hopeless when all of a sudden the noise stopped. A few seconds later I heard a soft noise. Beep, beep, beep. It was the oh-so-familiar noise that occurred when the computer hung. The sounds would repeat, and they would increase in volume. The only way to shut the program was to switch off the laptop via the power button. I pressed and held the button, expecting it to shut down anywhere between 5 to 50 seconds. Only this time it didn't. Not even after 5 minutes. I knew I shouldn't have bought that CD. It's been a few years since then, and since then I bought a new computer, this time a desktop with a much better graphics card. I managed to salvage the CD from the old laptop and decided, for nostalgia's sake, to keep the CD tucked away in a drawer near the computer. And I may open it again one day. Well, that was the most uneventful story ever. I only read it because it was about big rigs.